Alrighty. How you doing? Thank you. Alrighty. How you doing today?
Good. I just saw that at the gas station, man. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I figured you were coming here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alrighty, alrighty.
If you're registered, stand to the left. If not, to the right.
Okay.
Slow down over there.
What's going on, Mike?
Absolutely wonderful.
How you doing?
I am so blessed. It's
That'll work. That'll work.
See ya.
Good to see you
Thanks
too.
for being here.
Oh, definitely.
Love
How
your
you
car,
doing
man.
today?
Love your car.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Don't you know now? Mike.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
All right.
This here is just for the particulars of your car. When you get in, you can put on the dashboard afterwards.
Okay,
Enjoy
all right.
the car show.
All righty, thank you.
I like
Oh
it.
wow, dad's plaque too.
Yeah, look
Okay.
at that too. Isn't it great being normal again after
It
all
is.
the damn COVID stuff?
It is. It is.
Enjoy yourself.
All
sir.
righty.
Take care.
All righty, thank you.
We got some special information to pass along to you.
All right now.
We've got Bert Strabo,
Hey.
real estate guy, online with his own. Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. How you doing?
All right now.
Man, I am good, and it's good to hear from you. Tell people what you got going on.
Well, Nathan, you know, Detroit is in a
Take us to the left.
construction downtown Midtown.
Take us to the left.
Out of $1 million in this construction, we have less than 5%. We got about 4% of
How you guys doing today? All right now.
group of black people in the entire United States.
How you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, bro?
There's Ken Carey from the National Business League, you know, which is all of the Black Chamber of Commerce and all of that. The Black Business
How you doing today?
You all right, bro?
Oh yeah.
Dr. Claude Patterson, we're coming together
Claude.
for a Black Wealth Summit in Detroit on the 29th, 30th, and 31st. It is time to work together with each other. It is time that we transported generational wealth to our kids. We We have got to be held responsible. Don't truly participate. We want you to join us. This is important. And the only thing you need to do is go to blackwealth2022.com.
How you guys doing today?
Pardon me, do you have change for a quarter? I gotta make a phone call. Thank you. Oh, I hope this woman don't think that you're gonna change today. I had a hard day today. See what's happening at the address before I go home. How you doing?
I hope you're fine.
Did your day take you through changes and to mess up
Your mind.
I just called to say that I'm on my way. Oh,
And I see you when I get there. I see you.
I hope you're in the good. You know, a man's home is his castle, and I'm coming home to groove. Oh, and I'll see you when I get there.
I see you when I get there. And you. Alrighty. You be ready. I'm coming home today with well, it'll be my honor to document original Tuskegee Airmen who were what we call red tail pilots. There were over 15,000 people that could be considered Tuskegee Airmen. When the Department of Army created this Army Air Corps, this separate and segregated Army Air Corps, they had to fill every position. So nurses, stenographers, you name it, they had to fill it. Over 15,000. There were only 990 some odd pilots trained, and only 355 single engine pilots served in combat over in Europe. Out of that 355, there were 6 that were living before Alexander Jefferson, who I honor on the passenger side. He passed back on the 22nd of June. We just had his services last week, and we're all on the news and whatnot. But he lived to be 100, so he lived a nice long life. Harry Stewart on this side, he was on the news last Monday because he just turned 98 on the 4th of July. Harry lives here in Michigan. Alex lived here, and he was born and raised in Detroit, came back to Detroit. So he was here. On April 1st of 45, Harry got credit for knocking down 3 FW-190s. So that's why you see the swastikas on the left-hand side there.
What's the significance of the red tail?
So the 15th Air Force, when they realized that they were going to have to pick up the bomber escorting, so that the bombers could recognize what fighter group was escorting them, they designated tail colors. And it just so happens that the 332nd Fighter Group, their tail color was red. Both movies, the Tuskegee Airmen and the Red Tails, give the idea, the thought that they made the decision to paint their tails red, but it was a directive. As a matter of fact, I got it on one of these boards. It was a directive by the 15th Air Force, and there was also some other tails. So let's see, the 52nd, let's see, what was their tail? Their tail was candy stripe. The 325th, yeah, the 325th, their tail section was yellow. Now, I would have hated to have been the 325th with yellow tails and be seen coming away from the action. that would have been the wrong thing. And you know, some think, and you know, in that arena too, that you know, they wanted these nice bright red tails for the 332nd so that people could recognize if they failed or not. but the script was flipped because before the bomber pilots even knew these guys were black, they started requesting them. We want those guys with the red tails to escort us because they were hearing that these guys were dedicated to the mission. They stayed with the bombers. And you know, it became such an outcry that they wanted the red tails that Benjamin O. Davis, the group commander, painted it on the nose of his plane by request. So, yeah. Now, are you from Michigan? Are you from this area?
No, I just got my drive. I was in the military, so I moved around a lot.
Okay.
Then, yeah, that's where I wound up. Yeah.
The old mayor of Detroit, Coleman Young, our first black mayor, 70s going into the 80s, he was also a Tuskegee Airman. There was not only the fighter group, the 332nd, but they were also training up out here at Selfridge Airfield, the 477 Bombardment Group.
Okay.
They were a B-25 outfit that was going to go over to the Pacific and serve. But by the time they were ready to go, the war in the Pacific had been over. Their commander was a guy by the name of Bob Selway. Bob Selway was a strict segregationist. And the waves that the fighter groups went over is the 99th Fighter Squadron went over first. And then the 332nd followed with the 100, 301st, and 302nd. And Bob Selway was the original commander of the 99th, and he really, really wanted it to fail. He tried real hard, but they replaced him. But they turned around and made him commander of the 477. So him being the segregationist that he was, them being stationed out at Selfridge, whose base commander was a segregationist, they got together and they told the guys that so long as there's black officers on base, there'll be no integration between black and white officers. These guys, officers, paid automatically for admission to the officers club, and they weren't allowed in the officers club because of that rule, even though it was against DOD policy. But they really enforced that. The 477, they protested. Coleman Young was part of the group. Eventually they shipped them out of Selfridge. They ended up down in Freeman Field and Godman Field, and there was an incident in Freeman Field where what they would do is 3 or 4 of the guys would dress in their best, try to get into the officers club, be denied, another group would come up. It was the beginning of a silent protest and beginning of the civil rights movement, actually. This was in 45. But one set of guys came, and a guy by the name of Roger Terry tried to walk past, and he kind of brushed against the MP. And they arrested those guys and charged them with jostling. Court-martialed them, charged them with jostling, like, what is jostling? You know, something they made up. But then they turned around, and the base commander wrote a memorandum of understanding, had all 101 officers on black officers listed, and wanted those guys to sign off to the understanding that they were considered trainees, and they were supposed to go to one particular club and not the regular officers club, and none of them signed it. So they placed them under arrest in quarters and was going to court-martial them. But the NAACP and Thurgood Marshall came to their defense and got them off. But yeah, they were about to, they were about to spend some jail time, if not, you know, be court-martialed for treason and get killed because they were standing their ground of equality. And unfortunately, when the war was over, of course, World War II was all about fascism overseas, and the black soldiers in World War II, they were fighting what they call a double V, a double victory campaign, where they were fighting against fascism overseas and racism at home. And when they came home, they thought things would change. And Alexander Jefferson shot down on his 18th mission, served the balance of the war as a POW. When he came into the port in New York, he said he walked down the gangplank and there was a little white soldier at the bottom of the gangplank saying whites to the right and niggas to the left. And at that point in time, he realized he was back at home. Nothing had changed. So, you know, long struggle, but they were part of the push And Truman eventually desegregated the military, and the Air Force was the first in July of '49, and then the others followed. So yeah, they were part of that movement. I mean, you know, it was unfortunate, but their commitment and their performance, along with the 761st Tank Battalion and the 92nd Infantry and all the other segregated units, their performances were so admirable that, you know, Truman had no choice but to sign the order to desegregate, because it didn't make any sense to be segregated.
I really appreciate your time, man. You are an encyclopedia of knowledge on this stuff.
I try to be. I try to be. All righty, have a good one now. How you doing?
Because they realize there's a safety concern that because, well, they're supposed to grab this. If this was open, and that door was closed, and you didn't know this was closed, and you reach in, once this door goes,
Ooh.
you kind of figure out this. So they were like,
Could I look inside?
Yep, you can look inside, just don't sit.
Alrighty.
Model year 23s are.
Does it light up?
Pretty much everything. Yeah, so these are outlined.
But
Yeah, so here you can kind of see the image.
One of the things we काम केलं last time. He has said radar is a fascia मध्ये ठीक आहे इकडे so much just you can car right distance measure करत राहतात adaptive cruise control and basic heat pumps are not available, you can't see that.
Yeah, the whole platform. And never drive that.
You can leave it open. I just want to take a quick picture.
Put your
Oh, GM Able, I didn't see them. I just joined GM Able since you know, they had some stuff promoted on Socrates, and I'm reading it, and they talk about what qualifies as a disability, and my heart condition, my diabetes, it counts as a disability. So I went out and joined. I wonder if that's it. Yeah, I haven't been in this building in a while. I mean, since before COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been working at home since I think April or March of 2020.
Are you with Ford?
No, I'm a GM employee, but I do have a Mustang out there. Ford never wanted to hire me, so on the first time I got hired by GM.
Well, there you go.
So this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. How you doing? And that's now business wear.
Yeah. Distractors.
For some.
I can't do my job.
And you know, I've heard stories of people complaining about that. It's like you know, it's like damn.
It's like they write a spandex for. You know, we don't have any guess
Now,
what they look like on it.
I think that's a no-go. I do believe that's a no-go here, and I think it's a no-go at a lot of different companies. Yeah.
Look, you're gonna be around the equipment.
Yeah.
Grab the hole in that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You ain't suing it, so don't wear it.
Hoax.
Yeah. They right about that. You get caught on one of them pallets, boy. That little skin you got on ain't gonna do nothing.
Nope.
Yeah, that's some Jesus sweatpants. The girls with them long hair, they just nope.
Let's see if these open. Nope. Not much anything out there.
We gotta go inside.
Yeah. How are you today? Acapella.
Yeah, that's what my buddy Harper was working on.
You have carbon fiber. I'd like to mimic the prototype Mustang that Ford did do to try to inspire aviators. That was named after the P-51. If you go out to the Henry Ford Museum, it's that little two-seater, white with the two rally stripes and the style bar. But I'd like to carbon fiber that shell and put it on a you know, additive manufacturing chassis and electrify it. Have 2 or 3 of them and use those in the parades. You know, have them in formation.
You know, the sad part is I used to do full-size wood models that way.
Oh, damn.
You know, because what we do, we get the prints, we build it to the print. They do put a carbon fiber skin vacuum foam over it.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And then, you know, or we would take it, we do a plastic mold on it, pull a female off, then lay that up with vacuum foam.
Okay.
And you get a full body pack.
Wow.
And yeah, that was fun. We didn't do the NCMC. We just went around and cut it down to our hundreds and get close and then start.
Yeah. And it worked.
Yeah.
Now, were those then turned around and used as the full-size model?
Yeah. We did that. Now we use that rim plank for the dive line.
Okay. Okay.
And that tolerance is so tight.
Mm-hmm.
We had to keep it checking those. We had to put it in a hermetically controlled room.
Okay.
And then they would do the checking on there.
Okay.
And then they took it off to the security.
Okay.
And that was before the NC. You know, NC would rough it for us.
Yeah.
And we had
Seriously rough it. Because that's what we did over at MTS. You know, we roughed some dice and then they'd send them out to, I think a lot of them they sent to you guys.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We get them, and of course they get the apprentices to do it.
But then
Sandpaper bands about this long with handles.
yeah. But then working in the stamping plant at Lansing Regional, you know, just checking out these dies when they came in and looking at the amount of work that our die maintenance guys had, you know, you could see where things were rushed.
Right. Oh yeah. And you know, the same practices they did with those, they do with you know, with these other shops.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, we get something in, hey, fix this model up.
yeah. Sunbird, Goldie.
I think it's the original Buick.
Mercury. Understood. Royale.
Senior Bob.
Oh, it is.
7IOs.
This is a Langley series rack, right?
How you doing?
Oh, yeah, but he drives this every day. Like, cool. Like, that's, you know, like, I don't have any.
Dealer, you know, just really kind of So when I was married,
Documented.
I had it even more.
The program provides students with hands-on experience in water quality monitoring. Liquid Water Council staff will teach students about water quality testing, tree assessment practices, and aquatic insect identification. Next, GM has provided a grant to the Macomb Science Olympiad. This is one of the largest extracurricular STEM education programs in the city. The grant will help support Macomb Science Olympiad as it provides an engaging competition-based learning format that will help generate student interest and enthusiasm in STEM topics. Next, we're happy to provide a grant to Leaps and Bounds Family Services. With this grant, they will be able to offer Child Development Associate Credential training to an additional 50 applicants. The CDA credential is a national credential for early childhood educators, and it provides candidates with child development training that supports Michigan's children's licensing requirements. Next, we're pleased to provide a grant to the Robotics Collaboration and Innovation Center.
That's cool. Fox body. Another fox body. There's a lot of power under there. These boxing members? Boxing. How you guys doing today? Is that Tracy? Is that Tracy? What's up, man? How you doing today?
You on the TV the other day.
Oh yeah, yeah. One of our daughters died, so yeah, he's the one I honor on the passenger side of the car. Yeah, my car's back over here.
Okay, I get a chance
back that way.
If I don't burn up first.
Yeah, it is hot out here.
Get there. Quickly.
Yeah, I was looking at my watch, count down the hours. Less than 4 hours. All right, then. I'll holler at you.
Take care.
How you doing? All right. Keep racing.
far as I'm concerned, one of the best organizations, the greatest automobile organization of all time, and that is General Motors, right in the middle of Warren. And I'm proud to say, in part because of the investment that General Motors has put in Warren, I think it's about $2.5 billion. I have been told that just recently Warren is #1 in industrial assessment in the entire metro area, and a lot of that has to do with the greatness of General Motors. And I also am excited about the fact that maybe the center of the battery innovation will be right here in General Motors and in Warren, Michigan. So I commend the UAW, I commend the organization of General Motors, and I'm so proud that General Motors is here, and it will be here for a long time. And I might add that when I became mayor nearly 14.5 years ago, one of the first things I did is that I started with the point of view of Buy American and support our union workers. And I continue to say, Buy America and support innovation, research and design, and encourage people to solve problems so America continues to be independent and America continues to be great. For the great workers of the UAW and the great organization of General Motors. Thank you.
How you guys doing today?
Good, man.
Reverend Hot Rod.
Oh,
Hey there, Reverend Hot Rod.
how we doing?
All right.
Okay. Okay, I can't remember which one. That one's not good.
I got you. That's cool.
I had a 65 Ford.
Fritz.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
You want to know what's up with the swastikas, huh? I honor 2 documented original Tuskegee Airmen on the vehicle who were combat pilots.
I take it they took down 3.
Yep. Harry Stewart on April 1st of 45 knocked down 3 FW-190s.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it took 2 of them out that were in front of him, and the third one, he made some moves in the air, and the third one couldn't keep up with him and hit the dirt. Uh-oh, what happened? Then on the other side, I honor Alexander Jefferson, who just passed back on the 22nd of June. And his services were just last week, so we were all on the news. A movie star, or maybe even a NNG car wash. Working at the car wash, yeah. Come on and sing it with me, car wash. Feeling young. Come so the work gets kinda hard. This ain't no place to be if you plan on being a star. Let me tell you, it's always cool. And the boss don't mind sometimes if you act the fool. The car wash. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. Talking about the car wash, yeah. Come on and sing it with me. Sing it with that feeling, y'all. Well, those cars never won't stop coming. Keep those rags and machines humming. My high finger to the bone. And down, I can't wait till it's time to go home. Hey, get your car wash day. Fill up and you don't have to pay. Come on and give us a play. At the car wash. Sing it with feeling young. Whoa, 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 whoa. Those cars never seem to stop coming. Charger.
Because of the overdrive. Wow.
See, there's got to be a story here, huh?
Yeah.
buyout price of this is a lot cheaper than anything that's out there.
Alright, so we have Tina Berry over here on vocals. Mr. John Hawkinson back here on bass. Chris Denzel back here on drums, and I'm always standing in front of the guy. Mr. Tony Green over here on guitar. Brian Bungard over here on guitar. And yours truly, Jeff Sherry on vocals. Alright, we'll get going. Great to see everybody.
Should have brought my Sloan sign. Fugitive. All right, now, Reverend Hubbard. Philly Bay.
And I'm a surefire pure blood of bona fide house rocket jam on production and feed. If you want the best, for me, just listen to that I got no faults, cause I'm down by law when it comes to rocking viciously. You see,
cause when I was a little baby boy, my mama gave me a brand new toy. 2 turntables with a mic, and I learned to rock like a donut mic.
Time went by on this rock creation. I knew
one day I would rock the nation, so I made up my mind just what to do.
And I joined with the Jam on production crew. So go crazy, and don't let your body be lazy. I said don't stop the body, rock till your eyesight starts to get hazy.
Clear out your ears and you open your eyes, and you want to hear the music just come alive.
If you don't know how, get ready.
Can't get out that way.
Cosmos taking his turn to burn. Take the C and O and the Z, then you add M-O and a freaky D, add a funky beat, and then what do you see? It's Cosmo D, yeah baby, that's me. I got the beat and that's so sweet. Without me rocking this incomplete. So rock this yo, rock that yo, rock on and don't you dare stop. You rock this, rock that, and that's a fact. On the Jam on crew, rocking body right back. Rock a steam locomotive right off the track and give the whole wide world a funk attack. Until the beat get down.
And rock it to the rhythm of the funky sound.
From hill to hill, from sea to sea, and when Jam on's rocking, everybody squeeze. Jam on it, Jam on it.
And if you feel like you want to dance all night, then go ahead and phone it.
What's jamming on is what we
do best is what separates us from the rest. And if you don't know, let me tell you what happened to the man of steel. For real. You see, I'm faster than a speeding bullet when I'm on the set. And to cool my amp, I just use my super breath. I can fly 3 times around the world without missing a beat. Redtail would like to thank the monetary contributions of individual contributors, and is brought to you by the Tuskegee Airmen National Museum, Detroit chapter of Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated, and Detroit Redtail. Donate and help keep Redtail rolling the Tuskegee Airmen into the American car culture.